and then also for your debris, different things of that nature that you had to clean up. This is our 2150 model. It's powered by a 25 horsepower Perkins diesel. We also have the sweeper and the vac system on the back. We did a little bit of sweeping over here along the landscape fence here this morning with the facilities operations. And they were really impressed on how tight we could get into cleaning up around their stone wall. This morning when we came out, there was actually 4 or 5 guys that were using the backpack blowers, and they were actually using the vent track. One guy was driving, another guy was sucking up the leaves. Here, this unit we showed him this afternoon, we cut all that down to 1 person. So he was really impressed with that. He also maintains all the sidewalks and curbing, different things of that nature. One thing we didn't realize this morning was all the sidewalks up here are heated, and so are some of the decks that they have down around the ski lodge. But they have an expensive boiler system that they use to run that heat system. So he says they don't, generally for the first couple snows, they don't have that turned on. So they still need something to maintain small, tight areas. And that's where we're going to shine with this machine. We're kind of heading up and down the East Coast, setting up dealers. Bradley is the national sales rep. He came along. He's working with the dealers. We're doing demos hand in hand. So reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to come out, show you what this little machine will do. We're not really going to move the machine around just because of the people, but we will show you the quietness of this Perkins diesel. And also all of our frames are articulated and oscillated. So there's a lot of machines on the market that aren't oscillated. So we can climb up on a curb. Your one tire is still on the ground. As you can see, it's not a loud machine. It articulates in the center. All of our attachments go on the front. We have a stage that comes in. We can actually lift this off and switch it over to a salt spreader like what you see on the bigger machine. That can be done by 1 person. In other words, if they were calling for a big snow here this morning, you were all set up for snow and your salt spreader on the back. Turned out to be a day like today. 1 person can pull this machine, they're pulling off the vacuum, putting on the salt spreader, or vice versa, and you're back to doing business and not having that machine dedicated to snow today and losing productivity. So basically he's going to start the vacuum. What's the key? We also we bring that back around. So the machine will also raise, shift, and dump, and then we'll be able to slide all that stuff out. You're good. We do have a turbine unit on the top, which automatically sprays a fine mist of water, so that keeps your dust in. We can also add water to our front brooms, and that's going to keep a lot of your debris and dust down on the front. So the bigger unit is a 75 horsepower. Brad, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Okay. Again, these are Perkins diesel engines. These are low RPM engines because everyone's talking about emissions and alternative fuels and things. And what Egholm has elected to do is to use a lower RPM to reduce your emissions. You can fuel them with biodiesel if you wanted to in order to meet any regulations or issues that your municipality may require. 37 more sophisticated machine, whereas the 2150, there's no computer on board, there's 4 levers to control everything, do all the functions. 3070, we've got an armrest on your right-hand side, so all your attachments are pre-programmed into the computer. You select which one, and that'll set your hydraulic flows, your pressures, and engine speeds. The other thing about the 3070, and I think Jim's going to demonstrate that right now, is with this machine, you're actually plugging in all your hydraulics stuff to your attachments. With the 3070 and what we call the middle sister, which is the third machine in the lineup, which is the 2260, which is a 35 horsepower Kubota diesel or Kubota gas engine. With that one lever, now I've disconnected hydraulics, electric, and water. All one step. There you go. So, just that simple. So you can't cross-connect anything. It is a bigger cab. It does have air conditioning. Okay, the little guy doesn't. But with the windows open, the hood up, and I've run it in July, and the heat is actually not that bad to deal with. But this guy is a lot more comfortable. Now I've connected the hydraulics, electric, and water. Just that simple.
So the versatility and being able to switch attachments that quick, that easy, it just makes a lot of sense to be able to be productive in a lot of different ways, and not take 4 guys to change attachments. So
with the sweeper, or like this machine, as well as that machine, there's a carriage that comes in, hooks into these holes in the back. One lever, you push that down, it lifts the unit, you roll it out, you roll on the new piece. So you could go from the sweeper to a salt spreader in less than 5 minutes. Same thing with the big machine. Even as big as that is, same operation, there's a lever that you turn, and your hydraulic connections, water connections for the salt spreader are all disengaged. So the machine's been made to be very easy to work with. We're fully hydraulic, so we don't have a lot of belts to deal with. That's an issue that's been prevalent in a lot of other machines. With this guy being 36 inches wide, it's your ideal sidewalk machine. You can get into places you can't get with anything else. You're going to eliminate a lot of shoveling, a lot of handwork, and while there's other machines out there for sidewalks, they're all referred to as stand-on. And if you're like me, I grew up in New England, and I don't care if you got heated hand grips, I don't care if the engine heat's going to blow against your legs. I do not want to be on a stand-on machine in the middle of December in a snowstorm. I'd rather be in that cab with a heater going in a Hawaiian shirt and a cup of coffee. So that's the difference with this little guy. That guy is even better yet.
all your functions, everything is pretty much pre-programmed into that. So your RPMs, as far as your speed, with the spreader on the back, is also calibrated with your speed. So if you pull up to a crosswalk and you have to wait for somebody to walk past, the spreader will stop. As soon as you start moving again, your spreader actually picks up and goes back to your desired setting that you had it set in place. There's 4 different work settings that you can set into that pre-program it. You also have cruise control that's built into this, and then, like I said, all the, like Brad was saying, all your operator comforts. Even on the far side here, there's so much different technology that's coming out of the European market. The Egholm company has been producing small tractors like this for close to 30 years. So they have tens of thousands of these units running around in the European market. My wife and I were very blessed to go over in January, and we went over for basically the small machine, like I said, to fit that niche, to find that machine that's going to fit on a 36-inch sidewall. We didn't realize we were going to be able to import the bigger machine at that time. So midsummer we were able to bring this unit over, and the technology that's in this machine is just mind-blowing. They even think about it on your glove box. You put your lunch in there or cooler, and it's also heated and cooled in your storage box.
Everything is a lot of nodding heads on that one.
Yeah. Keep your sandwich cold. And then everything here is also digitally registered at your operator's hands. So rear view camera system, and we also have a suction mouth camera when we have the broom system, the same setup that is behind Bradley. But we're setting up dealers first here on the East Coast, and then we're going to start moving west. But the East Coast is where the majority of the small items were. Virginia, all the way up to New York. So, our first building is set up I said, we're not coming in the back door, we're driving right in the front door. It's a product that I think it's going to fill a lot of niches, especially in the municipality market. That's what we're hearing from you guys today, is just kind of reinstating for our whole game plan.
So a lot of you guys have already got sweepers, but the sweeper market, 99.9% of that is street sweeping. Those machines can't get onto sidewalks, and you need sidewalks cleaned now even more than ever. So we've now got a machine to do that. This machine right here was actually in Montpelier, Vermont. I grew up in Vermont, and after their devastating floods back this summer, I went up in September, and we had scheduled to do a demo, and the floods hit. And so I let them kind of relax, and then I called Cliff and I said, hey, I'd like to come up and do the demo, but I just want to get out on the sidewalks and just sweep all your sidewalks for you as a good gesture. Well, it turned out their sweeper operator jumped in the machine, loved it, and then begged the director of Public Works to ask me if he could keep the machine for 3 weeks, which we allowed him to do as a nice gesture, and they swept all their sidewalks. But in the day I was up there working with them, we actually got out to a bit of the street area where they would have normally brought in their big butcher machine, which is $280,000 sweeper, and we hit a little piece of street that needed to be cleaned up, and we did it with this guy. And this guy's only 70 grand. And we got done, Paul said, this is a very deceiving machine. For its diminutive little size, this thing's got a lot of power, a lot of capabilities. So for municipalities, both of these machines, give you a lot of capabilities. We are coming up with some additional attachments. And this is, again, Montpelier. They said to me, do you have a boom mower that can get over a guardrail? I said, yes. We are developing that right now, so we can get over a guardrail and mow between the posts so that they're not sending out crews of guys with weed whackers, because they have a machine to do it, but he said it is so cumbersome, it is such a pain in the butt to run, I just send crews out with weed whackers. But if you can put something on this machine, he said, you've got a sale. So we're working on that. We're working on another set of attachments to be able to grind off all the pavement markings. Where you got thermoplastic markings in your crosswalks, we will grind it off, vacuum it up, and all the air is HEPA filtered. So OSHA, Southern Industrial, not a problem. And that's something to be forthcoming. So you'll have that capability. One man can go out and do all that work as opposed to a crew, and then the only guys are out there afterwards, other guys laying down new lines, new stripes, and whatever. So we've got things in the mix, and I always ask, what else do you need? What is it you're doing that, hey, if you could have a machine that would do it for you, I want to know about it. And we'll figure out how to fabricate that, because you guys are all struggling. You can't hire more people, but you got more work to do, and this is the way you get it done. So here we are. We're welcome. We love to do demos. So wherever you are, I don't care. I mean, like I say, I went up to Vermont. I was way up in northern Maine, demonstrating equipment. We're happy to do that.
This unit will be. We'll go back tomorrow evening. We'll have this switched out, and it'll have the same type of sweeper box on the back, along with the scrub brushes on the front. And it will be going to Southern National NASCAR track in North Carolina. So we performed a demo with him 2 weeks ago, and they own the racetrack down there, and he says, I really can see a great niche for this around the NASCAR tracks, and keeping things swept up. So hopefully here in the next year you'll see us somewhere on a NASCAR track. So, we're excited about it. Please get in touch with us if you'd like to see a demo. Not going to keep you guys any longer. But it's probably pretty cold standing out here in the parking lot. But we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.